This is Showcase, Faculty Exhibition 8 at the Jule Museum. Here's Frank Hu and Robert Sproull talking about the process behind their work.
The model itself, if you're looking at the model straight on without necessarily a projection on it, what you're seeing is right now is essentially the current day topography of Montgomery. And so we built this model using the latest LiDAR point cloud data that we could find from the city, and we utilized that to essentially create this terrain. It's what's known as a digital surface model, if you want to get technical, but that is what you see. It's a rendering of data of the actual topographic detail of the surface. And the thing that we are highlighting throughout this work is the actual highway, the interstate system, and how that essentially looks like a scar across the urban fabric of the city. And so the model itself represents current day Montgomery. The projections on top of that are a series of historical maps that we've collected that date back to pre-Civil War era all the way through Reconstruction, all the way through the Civil Rights Movement. And the idea is we want to illustrate the historical urban fabric growth over time through these historical map projections to kind of get a sense of how the spatial history of Montgomery evolved over time. And with the eventual transition from that historical fabric to the current day city where the highway is actually cutting through and splitting this neighborhood off.
So just in terms of the narrative that we're focusing on, it's generated out of this relationship with this one African-American church and the community that it's within, the Peacock Tract. That's the sort of southwest or western part of the model that you see. And the significance of that area is it's a very significant area, especially in terms of the civil rights movement. But like I mentioned earlier, it started as a plantation, became this middle-class African-American community, and then was a hotbed for the civil rights movement in Montgomery. The church itself is really significant. It was the location for the initial meeting where Martin Luther King was elected leader of the Montgomery Improvement Association. It was also where they voted to extend the bus boycott, and it was the last stop on the Selma to Montgomery March. The church has also it's being renovated right now. It was at one point called the Fall Down Church because it was in such bad condition. And for such a significant spot to have, that sort of deterioration, a lot of people started really getting involved. So one of the things that we hope to do, at least in the future, is kind of map some of these events on the map or on the model itself. So we can, for instance, show the path of the march coming through the community and the neighborhood and making its way all the way to the Capitol, which you also see kind of on the northwest portion of the model. We can show historic event locations. We can show change over time. Obviously, the historic map projections are a really important part of it as well. And just understanding this community's role in the city, the state, and national or world events, I think the model will have the ability to illustrate that in a really interesting way.